everything okay?
Sorry. Something just reminded me of my dad.
No need to be sorry. Do you want to talk about it?
The smallest things remind me that he's not here. One moment, I'm fine. The next, in tears.
There's something that helps me when I get overwhelmed. It's a promise of our future.
And he will wipe out every tear from their eyes, and death will be no more. Neither will mourning, nor outcry, nor pain be any more. The former things have passed away.
This scripture has gotten me through some of the worst times of my life. But there's also an amazing article that goes through each piece of the promise.
Our sister could have used JW Library to look up the scripture, and that would be fine. But by using jw.org, she had the scripture, related articles, and videos right at her fingertips. The search page acted as her guide. What if she didn't have a scripture in mind to share? Let's see what she does now.
Here's a video of those that felt the pain of losing a loved one, and this is how they coped.
Again, effectively searching with jw.org proved helpful. Did you notice her search terms? She chose words specific to the situation, but general enough to encompass a variety of articles and videos.
It's just shameless, isn't it? Jehovah's Witnesses here being trained to prey upon grief, to prey upon bereavement, and jump on death and grief as an opportunity to recruit, to convert, to preach. That's what we've just seen in this installment of Iron Sharpens Iron, which is a segment on JW Broadcasting hosted by a circuit overseer that randomly gets chosen by the organization. And it's all about training Jehovah's Witnesses on how to preach better. This particular episode is specifically about using the jw.org website when preaching. Jehovah's Witnesses are incredibly anxious to steer people straight away to their approved website rather than letting people go scurrying around on Google and seeing what objective information there is about Jehovah's Witnesses. They want to get people reading straight away from their approved website. But, I mean, this is just objectively tasteless and crass and insensitive. When someone is grieving, the last thing they need is someone trying to exploit that as an opportunity. And this really shows very brazenly and openly how manipulative Jehovah's Witnesses are. They may not know that they're being manipulative. They may not deliberately set out to lie to people and deceive people. But when you are exploiting a moment in someone's life where they are emotionally vulnerable due to some tragedy or some catastrophe, you are very much manipulating that person. And it could be any group in that moment. It could be Mormons, it could be Scientologists, it could be Hare Krishna. Anyone who goes through a traumatic episode is suddenly more vulnerable to being roped into some kind of belief system that offers hope. This is in fact how people join Jehovah's Witnesses as thinking adults. Because most Jehovah's Witnesses, I would argue, believe because they've been raised in the religion, so their parents raised them with this ideology. But it's still possible, even now, with all of the information that's on the internet about Jehovah's Witnesses and on YouTube and what have you, even with all of the negative exposure, it's still possible for you watching this video, if you've never been a Jehovah's Witness, to just be at that vulnerable moment where life goes tragically wrong and you are suddenly susceptible to a cult coming along and making promises and telling you what you need to hear in that moment. That's how it works in most cases, even though most of us like to think that we're completely impenetrable when it comes to cults and the crazy things that cults do and say. No, we're not impenetrable. We are human beings. We have weaknesses and vulnerabilities. And in this particular video, Jehovah's Witnesses are being encouraged to pray on them.